Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for April the 3rd, 2020. Before we start, there is a political recap stream on this channel tonight at 9:30pm GMT with Trups LP. I have no link yet, so watch out for that. Today I'd like to talk about the UK government's update on the Milwaukee's Best virus. The Health Secretary Matt Hancock, who last week I believe displayed symptoms of the Milwaukee's Best virus, gave a public statement on what has happened, along with what the UK government is going to do. The most notable of which is increasing the testing goal from 25,000 a day to 100,000 a day by the end of April. At the moment, only 5,000 NHS staff have been tested, and there have been many complaints, mostly from health experts, that the UK government were not keeping up with countries like Germany that already have 100,000 a day testing. Matt Hancock in his statement also expressed a desire for more to be done to ensure personal protective equipment, or PPE, stocks are there and are up to scratch after there were a number of people who had, also health experts, complaining that their PPE quality was equal to that of a dinner lady, possibly lesser. Currently, the NHS demand is higher than expected, so the government has pledged to do more to free up more beds, so that then they have what is needed to help with this current demand. During this, NHS England's medical director indicated that currently the death toll may not fall for many weeks, and that to help the government and the NHS fight off this virus, the government is going to write off the NHS's £13.4 billion debt, which raises a number of questions about that debt in the first place, much of which will centre on the fact that if the government could have done that sooner, why didn't they do it sooner? The answer, by the way, is because they didn't have the money to do it sooner. It was only recently we were able to be in a position where we could borrow even more money to basically put us in a recession again. Matt Hancock also took this opportunity to champion the NHS staff, which I believe led to another one of those clap for NHS staff hashtags, where people would stand outside their homes and applaud the work of the NHS. Along with this, Matt Hancock suggested that Premier League players take a pay cut, because a lot of them are on 6 to 7 figure salaries a year, to help with the club staff that have been furloughed, and because many have questioned whether these clubs should be allowed to use taxpayer-funded schemes for salaries, this is where the idea comes from. My view is this: a Premier League club is like any other business. Yes, there are stars that are paid more than everyone else, and I'm sure the club is doing something about whether or not they should be paid if they can't even do something as basic as train. I guess it depends on the type of contract they have. I don't believe many are signed to a "if you play, you get paid." Not everyone is Darren Anderton the sick note. Understandably, with those that are paid more, there are going to be a lot that are paid less. They are general staff. They are business as opposed to an asset. It's a bit trickier, I guess, but my view is they should have access to the same scheme because they're the same as any other massive multinational corporation that has required their staff to do that. And while it is a reasonable thing to say, hey players, you guys are paid millions, could you just take a little slice off the top so the rest can actually get paid without having to dip into this scheme for the taxpayers? They are still taxpayers. Not the players though, Jesus Christ. Moving on from that, I would like to talk about the updates from Russia, Spain and Italy, and then to end on a very important point, something most don't seem to realise, that was brought to me by Marking Bad, linked to his channel below. In Italy, latest data suggests the outbreak is stabilising. The infection rate has dipped slightly, with the number of positive cases rising by 3.1% compared to 3.8% for the previous day, but the daily number of deaths has increased again from 727 on Wednesday to 760 yesterday, and the death rate is in the tens of thousands currently in Italy. In Spain, it is the second country after Italy to report more than 10,000 deaths. Authorities, however, do believe the virus is peaking in the country and hope to see a drop in figures in the coming days, because hope, of course, gets results. My apologies if my cynicism is a bit rude there, but come on. And in Russia, Vladimir Putin has extended the non-working regime in Russia until the 30th of April. Basically, all essential workers will continue in their jobs, but everyone else stays at home. Salaries will be paid in this period. Current data in Russia shows the number of infections jumped by 771 in 24 hours to a total of 3,500. And in France, A huge covered market will be turned into a temporary morgue to take pressure off the city's funeral homes and mortuaries, with currently there being more than 4,000 people that have died in that country. So to finish on the key point, because this is something people don't seem to realise, people saw the curve trending downward and again started to congregate, which resulted in a huge bump setting people back, or setting everyone back, an entire week. This is the curve, by the way. So this is the point. Just because the curve has flattened only means that the measures in place have worked. It doesn't mean the problem is gone. Keep yourselves safe and don't be so dense. Protect yourselves and your health services, and you will be a contributing factor to saving lives. Thank you.